it's again, it's a. It'd be nice to just get in the head of the captain, like as they're drafting him, and just to ask him, why'd you do this? Why'd you do this? Because in this case, going back to Keeper of the Forest, the first game, remember, obviously the SG on the Hellborn, Complexity on the Legion. Swinamone's Blind Banded, not Keeper of the Forest. I think it might have been these same two heroes, Tundra and Wild Soul. Eventually it was first picked by Complexity, and then they eventually won the game. You know, a lot of things led to that, but Keeper helped. The second game, SG's the Legion side, and then they blind ban Keeper of the Forest. And it's just, I find that, you know, just a little bit interesting. You know, I want to get the insight there of why exactly that logic is. But
well, I think that's fine to blind ban Keeper of the Forest on Legion if you don't ban Wild Soul along with it. Okay. And that's exactly what happened, and SG was able to use Wild Soul at their disposal, picking it first out of the lockpick pool. But Swindle Melons, the same exact thing. I thought it was going to happen. These are the same exact order of blind bans that we had in Game 1.
Hag's different.
Except Richard Hag, Richard Hag is
Way
different.
to ruin everything, Kyle. No, the first 5, though, definitely. They literally the exact same. Keeper into the Deadwood Pebbles, and then, sure enough, the Tempest Ophelia. And that sets up the same problem that we saw in the first game. So you got to wonder, you know, Swindelmel's definitely, I'm sure, you know, he's aware of that, but what else he has in mind now for this time around. And 4 is going to be the first ban coming out from BK. There's Draconis follow-up from Swindelmel's, but yeah, it's going to be, yet again, a very interesting lock-picking phase to see how that plays out here now because of that.
Yeah, absolutely. You can safely assume that BK is going to take Keeper of the Forest yet again out of the lockpick pool. And Engineer now banned out by BKid. I think they want to get rid of the strong heroes that are, you know, most prevalent, strong and mid. Nymphora, actually not the strongest in mid, but can be a problem if it gets those free levels. And that's exactly what SG drafted in Game 1, but honestly it wasn't that effective. Not to say that Nymphora was the problem, but Complexity did work around it quite nicely. Moon Queen's now banned up by BKid. One more ban left from Swindlemelons. And then the first pick coming out to Beacon. Now, I believe in the first game, they did first pick, I want to say Hag? I don't know if they first picked. No, they first picked
Luna, I think it was.
You're right. It was a Luna. And that was a smart pick, too, because if they're going to go for Keeper of the Forest, they want to be able to take that strong support, but that also has the potential, the creep clearing potential as well. So
yeah, I mean, again, I don't remember exact banning pool and how that went and everything, but the lock pool alone is definitely making this to be a very, very similar start to that first game, and I think the blind bans were even the same, like I said. So it's obviously if that tends to hold, then we could see a case of that. It's obviously good news for Complexity because it worked very well for them in that first game. Plague Rider is going to be the final lock coming out here, or ban, excuse me, coming out here from Swindlemelon. So not going to have to worry about that. Are we going to see that first pick of Luna again? Again, very similar to the first game. If so, could be something else, something like that. Silhouette, obviously, on the board, and which we've talked about, very highly valued, really, by both these teams, I guess. But
Jerizai is available. I'll just say that right now. And one of the best heroes I can think of right now that combats, and actually Silhouette's first pick, that combats Keeper of the Forest is heals, like Jerizai. Keeper of the Forest uses that ultimate, sets it up for the rest of the team. It doesn't really do that much damage, the ultimate, but it sets it up for the rest of the team, keeps the other team in place. And the best thing to do when you're in that position, obviously if Keeper of the Forest is ulti on you, the rest of the team is ready to pounce. Well, why not just pop an ultimate from Jerizai and mitigate all the auto attack damage that's going to happen after that? So I would not be surprised in the slightest to see Jerizai.
You know who else is good against Keeper? Monarch. Monarch's.
No, we won't see Monarch.
Monarch's ultimate. It's pretty good against that Keeper Roop, just saying.
I think we're going to see Jerizai here.
A Luna and thinking about it.
And this could also change up their thinking as they approach the lockpick pool as well, into actually picking up Ophelia now and maybe getting a stronger suicide like Bubbles. Now they've already picked up a Luna, that means they would need their mid as well. Well, they could do that with either, and they go with MOA.
What is up with MOA in these teams? We're seeing him a lot lately. They're both being locked up and picked up, and it just doesn't seem like the success is there for this guy.
It doesn't, right.
But teams, they'd like to use him. I don't know.
I don't know about that pick. I think they need a strong suicide right now, especially up against Silhouette. Unless they decide to man up. Like, if they man up onto the solo short Silhouette, then it could be a completely different story, and then that would change things dramatically. But I really feel like Jerizai would have been fantastic right there. They could have gone for a Jerizai, maybe a Luna mid, and then, you know, they had tons of options, and basically having the double heal between Jerizai and Ophelia.
How about that?
And, well, there you go. There's a Jerizai pickup for you.
Wow. How about a snap pick? Swindelmel's almost expected that even. I mean, how fast he picked up Electrician. He didn't even think about it. He just snap picked that Electrician. Very interesting. Keeper of the Forest is going to be first picked here by Complexity. But now that they have the Jerizaiya, that's even worse, obviously.
Yeah.
When you look at that, and Electrician will bring a lot to the table, I will say, with that purge. Not only against Jerizaiya, but purging somebody out of the Keeper's Root, perhaps. But they do go with Tempest Ophelia, sure enough, as their options here.
This is going to have to be. Well, they could no, this is going to have to be Wretched Hag.
Yeah.
This will have to be Wretched Hag as a suicide. They're going to have to run Keeper of the Forest as a jungle, Glacius, Jerizaiya mid, or even pair up Glacius with the Silhouette bottom. But most likely Glacius, Jerizaiya mid, and the Silhouette solo short.
You don't think doing the like a suicide Jerizaiya is in the in there? I mean, not the most ideal, obviously.
I guess you could, and you could go like Pebbles and Glacius mid. Yeah, no, you definitely could do that. Or even Deadwood as well. So that's a very good point, and they could do that.
Yeah, I mean, BK clearly is thinking about something here. So it's not just the obvious Wretched Hag. I definitely think what you're saying is. Seems like Wretched Hag may be the. Oh, okay.
They are going to do that. It looks like
they are going to go Pebbles. So, yeah, it's something like the Jerizaiya Suicide, or maybe something a little bit more crafty, even.
No, I think you're right. I think that's definitely what they're going to do.
It's going to be swapped.
And the thing is it's not like there's a hero that's going to blow him out up top. Like, it's probably going to be either Slicks on Master of Arms or Electrician. And yeah, those heroes should have a little bit of an edge against Jerizaiya in their short lane, but it's not like they're going to blow him out. Like, it's not like a Draconis or a Silhouette going up against Jerizaiya. Electrician actually is not bad against Jerizaiya because Electrician is fantastic against other melee heroes. But yeah.
Okay, so you talked about this. Now, we've seen a lot of Master of Arms. Again, his success rate hasn't been there. You talked about you actually like to maybe see him more of a semi-carry carry role even.
Yes, I do.
How about this? Slicks is actually playing. What the hell is that?
What?
Master of Arms.
Oh, it's the new bow. He
has a freaking bow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I have ADD when it comes to alt avatars, I know, but these are awesome. It's pretty cool, actually. Huh, I'm kind of curious to see what the animations are.
The only thing I worry, though, is that Master of Arms isn't exactly your strongest hard carry late game.
Yeah.
And if he is, and he can actually hit very, very hard with full items, but he needs those full items. He needs a ton of items to be able to carry the late game, and I just don't know if SG has that.
You see Jerizaiya actually trying to rush up there. He did by boots initially, I believe, but not able to get there fast enough, and Stay Green does hold it off. So, yeah, you're right. I mean, uh-oh. I see kids here. Hopefully, again, that's just a simple DC. But apparently, it was a disconnect. So usually that is a better sign than a timeout. Master of Arms, you said it. Obviously, we don't. When we see this hero, it really is in that support role. And again, the success, it doesn't seem like it's been there. Now, in the carry style, with the rapid fire, if you get honestly, something like a Nullfire Blade, as you even mentioned, it can actually be pretty powerful on him. But,
yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be intriguing to see what kind of build ultimately Slicks goes for here, playing this Master of Arms. But lane setups, sure enough, Jerizaiya Suicide here for complexity. You got Keeper of the Forest, probably going to end up in his own jungle, of course. That means Silhouette is actually going to be mid with Glacius, it looks like, and so Pebble's actually going bottom. Being played by Beak, what do you make of that?
It must be Glacius coming back down there. I would not expect at all for Glacius and Silhouette to be mid and leaving Pebbles bottom. And not to say that Pebbles couldn't do fine against a... Well, actually, you know what? It is a Suicide Tempest. But the thing is you could demolish him with Glacius down there, just being up in his face. And anytime you catch him, basically with Pebbles in range, and by the time Pebbles gets that combo up, that's a dead That's a dead Tempest.
Yeah.
So yeah, the lane. I feel like they could easily just do a Glacius Pebbles mid though. I don't know why you'd want to force something different when Silhouette should do just fine against Tempest herself too. So yeah, I don't know. This is kind of interesting.
Maybe they just don't want to deal with the MOA Luna mid lane. I mean, that's obviously double range right there, and can be pretty damn annoying to fight against, I'm sure. So,
but I still feel like Glacius Pebbles is better.
Yeah.
Because you can have that long range initiation, like I talk about all the time with the Glacial Blast. No, is it called Tundra Blast?
Yeah, I know it's so confusing. It's like
there's heroes' names inside their skill.
Why is it not Glacial Blast?
Yeah.
Yeah. So. In the end, now Glacius is heading back towards the middle lane, actually. So, seems like, at least initially, it could start off to be a Silhouette Glacius here versus this Master of Arms Luna. Now, that means it could very likely, or will very likely, I don't know. I mean, he's placing the ward aside, so maybe he still is going to change his mind. Okay, he is heading actually more towards bottom, so no, I don't know. We'll see where he eventually ends up.
Electrician has been pulled a lot of region, actually. Oh, Moonmeander's up here. He wants to get the ward off. He's not going to. He sees the presence of Ophelia, and he's not going to die at all because that'd be pretty silly for Electrician to get a grip. He actually levels up his E early on for some extra harass. And Moonmander, he's... I will say that, like I said earlier, Electrician does very, very well against the melee heroes. And now also the fact that he's been pooled a lot of regen. He's been pooled a set of tangos as well as a health potion. He's going to have an easier time up here. And with Ophelia in the mix as well. And actually a ward placed up here to block just the hard camp spawn of Ophelia. And clearly he spotted it, but yeah. They're going to have... The thing is he's going to have the his main pole camp to work with. So Jerezai is going to have a very, very difficult time up here.
Yeah. All right, so when Master of Arms, again, I'm distracted by this. When he switches to red, he actually pulls out like a different weapon. It looks like.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool. It's like this big ass weapon. So that's actually pretty cool. It's a little more obvious. Anyways, I'm curious to see what the animations look like. But yeah, so you're talking about the regen on Electrician. That should definitely give him a pretty good time up here against Jerezai. Ophelia having that creep camp blocked definitely sucks, but he realized that and eventually went elsewhere in the jungle, of course, and. Then you have that bottom lane, Pebbles. It does end up being that Pebbles Glacier, so Pebbles getting free farm. And Moon Meander's talked about this, Suicide Tempest on the Hellborn team at least. You can take advantage of at least doing some Ancients somewhat. So Swinamelons is doing that right here. As
apparently he thinks he can pull them to the lane, which you can't.
You can't. That's kind of weird. You can do it with Devour. You can definitely hook them. That's not fair, though. Anyways, yeah, so you can't do that, so I'm not sure what the plan was there. Hey, might as well try, right, I guess. Nowhere else to be. So.
I mean, yeah, I don't know.
Maybe.
It's been tried and enough, and it's... I don't know. There's maybe a slight chance that you can bug them out to where they just get re-aggroed, but that's very difficult to do.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe... I think he's just going to have to wait till he hits level 3 for the Elementals to actually do enough damage to those Predators, and thank God that they are Predators and not Dragons, because it's a lot easier to get those Predators killed than Dragons.
The lane is pushed up a little bit right here, so Tempest will be at least able to get something as far as creep farm goes, and maybe even hit level 2 in the process. But B-Kid, of course, on that Pebbles, he's having a fantastic start, as you would expect.
Yeah.
Things are looking pretty good. He has 10 and 9, in fact, to start things off here at this bottom lane. Up there with the top of the game with Electrician, actually, who's also doing very well, of course. At that top, so he talked about the matchup he has against Jerezai. In fact, he's sitting on top of Jerezai with the Electric Shield. There's the energy absorption. Jerezai, of course, he is actually out of regen himself, so he will need to be a little bit careful. And you mentioned a lot of regen pooled on Electrician. He's able to take advantage of that. So
Jerezai actually, Moon got a lot of creep kills right there, though. Like he's sitting up right neck and neck with Electrician, 11 creep kills. So I think he bought a bottle right now.
He did. Yeah.
The courier's not upgraded though, so that's kind of annoying. It's going to take him a long time, but. The double pull happened, and did it fail? That must have been a failed double pull or something, because that lane is going to get pushed out. That was unsuccessful. I don't know. Clearly this wasn't warded. And, I don't know about that, but that lane is going to get pushed up, and that is not good for the Hellborn team.
Oops. You do see what they're talking about in chat. He actually, Zach, aka Z-Freak, he actually counter-warded this ward aside here. So he obviously it was annoying him, and decided to take care of it, but having a little friendly chat in the meantime. But yeah, you're right. I mean, we are seeing the presence now of not stacking the camp. It's going to be pushed all the way up to the tower pretty much, and actually just out of the range. No, it is going to be that's okay. It's barely there. Anyways, moving at it should be able to get even more creep kills. You see him heal bombing right there, only getting the one, but still, he really is keeping neck and neck with Electrician. Not shabby at all here.
Yeah, these are creeps he shouldn't have at all. Like he should not have any of those. That should have all been pulled, and I don't know if he just pulled it without stacking it, or maybe just killed the camp way too fast that it actually just didn't even matter. So that's a big blunder right there. It's a huge blunder, actually.
Well, Kizu playing the Electrician, unfortunate there, but again, Jerezai obviously liking that. What do you make of Jerezai going the bottle, by the way? Side lane bottle and Jerezai.
I think it's fine.
Yeah.
It gives him enough regen. Actually, Tempest going to get spotted out here by Keeper, but Keeper just wants to get the rune. Doesn't even care about it. Does get the rune. Attacks him once, and it still goes back into Invis to cancel that mana potion. So good job by Chessie controlling those runes. And this is what I talk about all the time. Tempest, he's not going to get anything down here. Actually does have 8 CS, which is not bad, but this is not what you ever want in any situation, is a free farming Pebbles. Completely uncontested.
Yep, that he is, and B-Kid, as you would expect, is really amplifying with the creep score. Luna, in the meantime, getting caught out a little bit right here, but she's going to be fine. Even a power shot used right there, the charge shot, I should say, used by Slicks, just in case, but not connecting. Anyways, Luna's fine, and back to farming they go. So the middle lane, let's actually look at that creep farm real quickly. Wow, Silhouette 4 and 3 compared to a Master of Arms who's 22 and 13. So I think it's safe to say Haxorin isn't doing too much here in the middle lane when it comes to creep farm.
Yeah, it was a dual range lane against him, and they played up pretty aggressively on him, so I'm not too surprised about that. But Glacius has rotated here in the mid lane to give him some assistance, and that's, I think, what they need. They realize, especially now, that Pebbles has lots of good farm. He has his Steam Boots. If he catches Tempest in a combo, he is completely dead.
Yeah.
And Tempest is obviously using up a lot of mana potions to get those denies, and isn't able to even really spend it on the stun. And if he is spending it on the stun, it's completely for defensive purposes.
Ooh, see a little bit of spam damage coming out right there on a Glacius, but actually he tanks it pretty well. Now Luna's the one that needs to be careful. Will barely be out of range, though, as Glacius was going in for a freeze to finish off Luna, but good forked lightning coming out from Master of Arms, and it prevents Glacius from getting close enough. So, yeah, that was very close. I mean, this seems like some decent spam damage from the MOA Luna combination, but almost return kill, and that would have been the Bloodlust kill, of course. Still not having one yet, as we are approaching that 6-minute mark. So, again, Master of Arms, especially for me, really the intriguing hero here as far as how he's going to build this, playing more the carry style, the focus farm even in this game. Now, with that said, I mean, his farm not like shocking by any means, but he has 245 gold per minute, pretty solid here. You do see the GPM chart, and it really reflects even more what you're talking about. Pebbles is way up there. Himself was some top rune action.
Top rune, it was bottled up actually by Jereziah, so good job and good roam from him. And that's what you need to do, especially if you're a suicide hero, that even though he's getting actually very good farm up here compared to against Electrician, he's still making himself useful by helping the team out, getting the rune. Not only that, but he also does have a bottle like we discussed earlier, and so it's going to help him as well. Now, Electrician obviously can purge that off, but I don't think Moonman is really eager to use that anytime right now.
Well, you might need to use it here shortly, because actually Ophelia's coming in with the Minotaur. Going to stun perhaps. There's the Minotaur stun. Does he have static grip? No, he doesn't, but it might not even be necessary. Jereziah getting turned on. There's a protective charm being applied. There is a purge here for Electrician. He's not using it, though. Am I missing something?
He wants to wait for the haste rune to be popped.
Ah, very smart. There's the haste rune. There's the purge coming off, and actually Electrician should be able to get close enough for the energy absorption. 1 second. There's a nuke. It's not enough damage, though. He is really diving big time here, and Moonmeander might actually survive. Bottle charge going to be used, and Kazu. Oh, Bloodlust kill actually coming out. On that was actually on Tempest got caught out. Or Ophelia got caught out. Tempest also dies at the bottom lane. Now Electrician's going to get caught, and Electrician's in a lot of trouble. He will also fall. Double tap for Haxerin. That did not go as planned, and the Moon Meander had to spam the Gs. Okay, that's not spam necessarily. But.
Yeah, I mean, that was... I got to say, okay, it was at first well played by both sides, but honestly, diving past a tier 2... Like, you're going to die regardless. Why would you do that? Like, that is just not worth it. That was a perfect example of an extremely, extremely high-risk, low-reward. And they got the worst end of it. Not to mention, Swindle got killed solo by B-Kid, which is going to increase his... Look at it. He's going to have, like, a 9-minute portal key Steam Boots. Yeah. That's... this is looking very, very bad for Stay Green early on.
Yeah, it really is grim. And you know, you said I was very confused there, not gonna lie. I'm sure it was obvious on the Electrician not purging initially, but you're right. I mean, he waited for the haste.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that you got to give credit to Moon. I mean, he was also being very patient with it. He you could say even knew that that's what he was waiting for. So
honestly, I think the best thing and he played it even a little. He could have even done a little bit better job, honestly, if he like fogged in for just a second on the trees, popped the haste, because then it would have been a lot harder for Kazu to target him. But nonetheless, he still played it well. He had a lot of patience right there, and it paid off.
Yeah, got the turnaround kill, and just like that, through that whole sequence, 3-0 hero kill advantage now in favor of Complexity. So yeah, the stats looking pretty strong all of a sudden in the Legion team's favor. Good news there. And you talked about B-Kid especially. He really is going to have about a 9-minute portal key here. Cleans up this creep wave.
God, that's so early.
Yeah, he should be able to have it, pick it up on the side shot. Now the top tower is pushed in by Ophelia and Electrician, so good news coming out there for the Hellborn side, of course, and Stay Green, as Heal Bomb does a little bit of damage to Electrician, but he's not that worried. Pebbles again. This creep wave, he'll clean it up, and he will have that portal key now, so we'll see if he gets to make use of that right away, perhaps.
Yeah.
Against this Hellborn team. Swinamelons, though, again, struggling at the bottom lane on Tempest. He is now in the middle lane, spawns some minions, and going to make a little bit of a push attempt happen here, it looks like, but I don't know how far they're going to get with this necessarily.
Yeah, and he's actually very, very low on mana as well. And there actually is some decent counter pushing between Glacius and Silhouette. Silhouette as maxing the Death Lotus as well. And look, they're able to push that out quite nicely. Now he's taking some chip damage from the power shot of Luna, but uses the health potion right away. And B-Kid, he has a TP. He has his portal key. This could be pretty deadly for Stay Green if they stick around too long.
Yeah. Yeah, he is ready to go. I don't know if he's actually been seen just yet, but he is kind of hiding nearby. Keeper the Forces pushing the tower, waiting to see. Okay, there's a port coming in. Yeah, B-Kid's like, food for me. He jumps in. He gets that combo off an Electrician. Electrician dropping by the Electric Shield. There's the root going to be. He purges himself out, though, in case it will be fine when it's all said and done. In fact, going to go for a turnaround. The Centigrade coming out. Another port coming in. The Lunar Power Throw even hitting. Does he have an energy absorption? No, he doesn't. It might not matter. Down goes Pebbles right there. Are you kidding me? I thought that should have been a free kill, it seems like, but also the deny on top of it.
Yeah.
Wow, what a turnaround right there for Stay Green.
Yeah, I think that the MOA ulti was also used as well, so they do have some good global healing. And that's, I don't know if that's their strat right here, but it did pay off really, really well right there.
Wow, now I will say that was I know that Pika was in a mode of, I don't care who's porting in, I need to go in. Like, you can be fine with that, but it just so happened to be Electrician, which does kind of suck, because obviously that is the most tankiest target here on the Hellborn team, and I think he had the Mystic Vestments as well when he got jumped. So yeah, man, that was a huge turnaround for Stay Green right there. They're going to get a counter push in the meantime at the bottom lane. Now their middle lane is also going to be pushed in, but if they're quick enough, they could possibly react to that. I don't know how many ports they have. They do have a couple here, so we'll see if they try to maybe defend this middle tower. The invulnerability is obviously down, so yeah, they're not going to. It goes down, and Complexity will be fairly happy with that, but. So when it's all said and done, I mean, Complexity still has the golden experience lead here. But yeah, big plays indeed coming out for Stay Green.
Yeah, absolutely. Now Beak is sitting behind top now. Jeremiah, who's pressuring this top tower. It's actually taking a lot of damage before they're even coming up here and applying pressure to it right now. And there's Keeper the Force, actually. And one of the great things about, too, Electrician is not just to purge the Jeremiah ultimate, but being able to purge the Keeper the Force ultimate, which is what he did right there. And also assisted in him living throughout the entire exchange.
Yep. Yeah, that was...
And he can purge other people as well, so...
Dude, you know what? If he gets a Staff of the Master...
It's actually pretty good, honestly. It really is.
Yeah?
In this kind of situation.
What does the Staff of the Master
do?
It
applies it to you and someone else.
Shocks out and the target. Okay,
so it will always shock you, and then whoever else.
For some reason, I thought it used to be different. I thought it used to, like, spread to, like, 3 different targets or something like that.
Yeah, I feel that way, too.
I think it used to do that, but they changed it to this one. Anyways, but still, you know, kind of a similar idea, though. We could purge himself and even somebody else. But anyways, probably not going to do that. It kind of would be fun. So Master of Arms actually forced to the top lane, and Slicks is continuing to farm. And, you know, his farm's definitely solid. 306 gold per minute now. So nothing too shiny just yet on. I'm still curious what his first item's even going to be. He has pretty much Steam Boots, Bottle, and a Power Supply, as well as those Mystic Vestments. So he's got the early core. Now he just needs that first bigger item. So we'll keep an eye on that. Silhouette, of course, it looks like Haxrin is going for the usual Null Stone. She did last game, and also into the Portal Key, perhaps. And Pebbles, you know, he had that Portal Key, tried to use it, didn't get a kill. Now, his farm is still very, very good despite him getting turned there. But obviously doesn't have the surprise factor now.
Right.
As, ooh, wow, I'm totally blanking on the name now. The Agility, Soul Scream Ring, was picked up by Master of Arms. Probably going to be an Energizer.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very good item on him. It's just an overall, and especially since it's received a buff in the last couple months. It's been very popular lately. It's just a very, very cheap item, and it does do a lot for you and the team. So,
yeah, we'll see Master of Arms.
I
eventually get that, perhaps.
I will say though that he's definitely going to need to go for a Nullfire Blade this game.
Yeah.
To couple with the purge from Electrician if Nullstone is up on the Silhouette, which is going to be he's going for it. It's inevitable. Because Nullstone on top of the Protective Charm from Jeremiah, you're going to need 2 different sources to get rid of that. And one from Electrician, one from a Nullfire Blade.
Yeah, it's very likely going to be the case because of that reason. So, you know, I will say, again, just as we have some downtime here, something to bring up about a Jeremiah as we talk about from time to time is, in my mind, there's really 2 ways to deal with the... Well, I guess 3 ways, technically. There's 3 ways to deal with the Jeremiah. One is the route that you're talking about, the being able to purge with the Nullfire Blade, the Electrician purge. 2 is you zerg him down, and you kill him very quickly, of course. But smart Jeremiah players will very likely stay back, and that's very difficult. The third one, of course, just chain CC him somehow, with Sheep Stick, with Hellflowers, or whatever, and then go on somebody else. But so you think this time around, the idea of going the Nullfire and whatnot makes sense to you?
The chain CC one is probably the most difficult to do, because it's like, you want to focus your fire on one person while CCing him at the same time. It takes a lot of talent and a lot of coordination to do that.
I come from World of Warcraft Arena. So,
there you go.
you know,
is that what you do? You CC one person while you're...
Okay, exactly.
There you go.
That's what I'm used to. So I just thought maybe that's an idea here, but
well, hopefully we got some WoW players on the Hellborn team.
Oh, I can't. I want to see chat when that happens. Anyways, so yeah, well, obviously, again, going the nullify route most likely. Now, does have an energizer that we talked about. In fact, using it right there even to kind of burst his speed and get to the next place. So, solid item pickup for him. But the overall golden experience still remained in favor of complexity, and in fact, growing a little bit here. 4,500 gold lead, 3,500 experience lead. Triple stack ancients. Yeah, those are triple stack ancients being done, however, by Stay Green, kind of as pretty much as a team, actually.
Yeah, I always feel like when you get 1 or 2 people, that's great, but when you get everyone down there, I feel like it's not exactly the most efficient farming. Like, why not have, if you can clear with 2 people, which they easily can, like MOA plus Electrician or MOA plus Ophelia or any kind of combination like that, why not just have them soak up that golden experience and then spread it out, have someone else farm another place on the map? Like, it's just not a very efficient way to really get all your golden experience. It really isn't. Shout out to the Angry Testy, because I remember he was a big, I remember him always talking about that. Like, why the hell do we need all these people farming these agents? This isn't efficient at all. He would say that.
Nice impression. Yeah, Angry Testy.
I wasn't trying to go for impression. I was just.
Oh, you weren't? Okay.
I don't know.
I think
Chat's really going to blow up with that one.
I think you were. Yeah, of course, he's actually playing for Domain of Pain still, I believe. So
yeah,
and they're, as I said earlier, in the gold division, and so best of luck to them. Perhaps going to be in Diamond next cycle, as they did get knocked down, of course. Anyways, back to this match. Pebbles in the meantime in the middle, and Electrician obviously trying to bait them right there, but Pebbles doesn't have any of that. Conqueror is being attempted in the meantime by Stay Green. I don't know how much of a full attempt this is. Now, there is a ward aside here by Franzi. Recently placed, but I don't know if that got them the vision all the way to the pit, and they might have snuck in there.
A tree, a sapperling is going over there, the animated tree.
Okay,
to check it out.
Yeah, it is, yeah. So this will be spotted by Complexity, and we'll see how Stay Green reacts now. In fact, it's taking over with Elementals, so that kind of helped Tempest in a sense.
Oh my god, Franzi, you are in a terrible spot.
Dear God, what was Glacius doing? Yeah, he was in a horrible spot, but he actually gets away. Nature's Veil comes out. And actually, this could be a turnaround attempt. Penn actually Pebbles says, I'm going in, chucks him back to his team. In comes the Glacial down. Poor Electrician, pretty damn tanky though. Master of Arms running the party. Green Goo not placed down just yet, but Energizer going to be used right there. Tempest looking for the ulti opportunity. There's the lockdown into Jerizah. Jerizah is going to be killed before he can get anything off. There's another lockdown with the Minotaurs, but the Root coming over, give it the force. Another lockdown. Jerizah barely survives. The Soul's Blessing goes off, and Moon Meander will fall shortly after. And down goes Pebbles actually on top of that, despite the Soul's Blessing. Caught in the Tempest ultimate. So Stay Green will come out on top of that fight. And now they're going to group up and push this middle tower. Wow, I mean, that could have gone both ways with the initial start, but it just worked out better for Stay Green.
Let's jump on the tankiest hero by far on the team.
Yeah.
That was just a bad decision, man. Like, he had full, I'm pretty sure he had full mana, if not very, very close to it. Even though you got the toss, and it was a pretty long-range toss, they clearly don't have the DPS to take him down, because the most DPS they have is a Pebbles combo. And clearly he didn't combo because he jumped onto him and then got the toss back. So his combo didn't really do any damage. Like, after he used that and tossed him back, that was Pebbles. Like, he already he blew his load, basically. And after that, you really don't have any damage. Like, Silhouette, he's building Nullstone. He's not going to have any damage right now. So that was just a bad decision to go on Electrician like that.
Yeah.
As a result, that was a huge swing on Golden Experience. About 4K, 5K. In each category, not to mention the Token of Life up.
Yeah, on Master of Arms for that matter. And actually, another thing I kind of noticed in the last fight, speaking of Jerizah, not only did they do a very good job of locking him down, by the way, I mean, he was, I guarantee you, he was spamming R that whole time, and he just could not get it off because of the lockdown. But what we saw right there was actually his mana became very low, and something to keep in mind is Electrician's energy absorption. It will steal mana, in a sense, or drain mana more so from the opposition, whoever it hits, and depending on the targets and whatnot. So I'm sure that has an effect. And then again, going back to the Nullifier Blade, it's part of what helps make it a great item. And Nullifier Blade actually is a very good utility item. Not only does it purge, but of course it mana burns. Yeah. Especially on a Master of Arms with that rapid fire. Exactly. You're draining a ton of mana. So. That's another very powerful, effective way to prevent Jerizah from being useful, honestly, in those fights. So
I just think they coordinated it poorly. And then on top of, they have a very defensive team themselves. It's deceptively tanky with having, you're going on the Electrician, who's clearly the most tanky hero on this team, if not the entire game. And then you have the Ophelia ultimate on top of that. You have the Astrolabe on top of that. You have the Master of Arms defensive call on top of that. Yeah. You're not bursting him down until you get a damage item like Shield Breaker on Silhouette, which is not going to happen anytime soon. So your fight needs to be focused on Ophelia or Tempest. Like, you need to kill those heroes, or even MOA, but right now with the token up, that's not really an option.
But again, it's difficult. You got the globals, you got the Master of Arms, you got the Ophelia heal, the Astrolabe on top of that. You got Electrician with this purge to help save teammates. So apparently they are ready to go. So going to be coming out of this pause here again. This is Game 3, ladies and gentlemen, here of the winners bracket semifinals. Winner of this will play TT Esports next weekend on Saturday for the winners bracket finals, actually. So will it be Complexity or Stay Green? Well, after that fight, Stay Green obviously feeling pretty good, but honestly, this still remains to be, as this whole series has been, a very, very even game. So we'll see.
Let's go back to that WoW reference. In arenas, would you CC down, or would you try to go all out on the tank, or would you kill the guy that's healing him?
Well, usually in PvP, there isn't necessarily a tank, but in what I played a lot of was 5 versus 5 setups. And,
okay.
There tends to be a warrior in a lot of those 5 versus 5 lineups, and a warrior is kind of the guy in the front lines that'll charge in, and he can go very defensive. He can use an ability called a shield wall, which mitigates a lot of damage on himself. But again, it depends on positioning more so. Like, if he was caught out in front, if you want to do a quick switch, you CC the healer, you go on him, and you burst him down with quick abilities. Usually you'd want to CC more so that warrior type figure, and then go on the background, the squishies, and kind of coordinate onto them. So yeah,
I think that's the route that
I was a PvP expert.
I think that's the route that Complexity is going to have to go for this game.
Yeah. So, oh, okay. Anyway, so we'll see. What is going on? I'm seeing which finger I scroll with. The middle finger? No, I use this finger. Next finger. Anyway, I'm having a conversation with nobody. You guys can't even hear who I'm talking to. That actually is Killer Orange, the guy that you don't know his face still, but you've heard his voice before. All right, back to the game, though. We're now 20 minutes into the game. Apparently, I scroll with my index finger, and that's wrong or something.
No, that's right. That's how
right.
I scroll. I scroll with my index finger.
Oh, okay. So that's the game you were trying to figure out. Gotcha. Token of Life still on Slicks, by the way. He has about 4.5 minutes remaining here before that wears off. So still a little bit of time before they need to feel like they should use it. I mean, that's not to say they need to use it by any means. So we'll see what decision they make concerning that. Chession, Keeper of the Forest, he is getting closer to a portal key. He's got that Ring of Sorcery plated degree. Is about 1,600 gold saved up. So portal key more than likely an option for him. And you mentioned Silhouette, her damage output not the greatest right now. She does have her Nullstone finished, but you mentioned Shieldbreaker. I mean, I think you point. So, what do you think Portal Key still makes sense as a follow-up here? Would you rather see like a Shieldbreaker?
I still think Portal Key is fantastic, especially you have a Portal Key on Pebbles too. So being able to synergize that together with him to maybe burst down someone like Ophelia or Tempest is, I think, the right way to go about the team fight.
Yeah.
Not to mention you can Portal Key and jump into the fights and not feel too vulnerable. Well, okay, not feel too vulnerable until I saw Nullfire Blade is up on the Master of Arms. So he does have that to work with, and that's going to be very, very effective now. The Nullstone is basically timed exactly right when Nullstone was picked up by Silhouette. So as long as they're able to coordinate that properly between Electrician and Master of Arms, then that Nullstone and Protective Charm is not really going to do anything.
Yeah. Whoa, look at this group up. Big time actually coming out from Stay Green. All 5 of them, and this is what I'm talking about, the Token of Life. About 3 minutes remaining now. And he actually does have a Nullfire Blade here purchased, so he's got that tool to work with here. Again, we talked about the purpose of that. And on top of it all, it's a solid, a solid damage item. I mean, 22 agility, not shabby at all, on top of the 6 intelligence, of course, that it provides. So it's quite a bit of damage output assistance for Master of Arms. They're going to easily push in this middle secondary tower with no restraint, basically, from Complexity. So the push, it looks like, is going to continue here, actually, coming out from Stay Green. So into the base we go, and vulnerability coming out. They are pushing the top in the meantime, but a lot of ports coming in here. We're going to see that initiation jump just yet. Keeper of the Forest still does not have that portal key, so they really don't have that solid jump chance here. If you're the Legion side just yet, sure, you got the Pebbles, but not the most effective follow-up, at least just yet. You see Electrician actually purging off Jeraziah's Protective Charm right there. Let's see, put it on initially. So the top tower will fall in favor of Complexity. So not too bad for them. I mean, the tower did get fairly low. But yeah, not the worst for them. But actually, Shieldbreaker just picked up a Haxorin.
Okay.
So he does feel that needs that raw damage.
I think their fear is if Stay Green tries to run them over right now with a very, very early push, the worst thing in the world is just not being able to cut through with enough damage. And they don't want that to happen. They want to be able to have some source of damage. And so he's saying screw it, especially when they're pushing into the base, using the high ground advantage to their advantage.
Yeah.
And they just want to get some damage up onto somebody. In the meantime, bottom tower goes down.
Yeah, the creep's just doing enough push right there, so a little bit surprising. But Keeper the Forest does other port key now. So they do got a great follow-up on top of Pebbles, of course, who actually just finished a Shrunken Head here.
Yeah,
so
that's great.
Yeah, B-Kid's really continuing that. Well, sorry about that. Continuing that very solid farm of now 357 gold per minute here. The top of the game are Master Farms, 418, so Slick's doing very well there. Does he have level 2 no far yet? No, but he has 2,200 gold actually pulled up, so a lot of gold pulled up for him. They're going to commit once again. The goo is down. Electrician in the front. The Minotaur's not missing. Here comes Pebbles jumping in. Where's the roof follow-up? Not just yet. Actually waiting for Tempest, if anything. Tempest just sitting in the background. Energizer was used, giving them away, and they will be fine. Master's Call is still up, actually, for Master of Farms. You see him offensive right there with that Energizer. He actually used it offensively, charging Glacius. Not going to be a kill, though. Ophelia Heal was used throughout all that. But that was really the only big ability. Glacial Downpour was used, obviously not the biggest deal in the world. In fact, speaking of Glacius, taking a little bit of pressure right there. Master of Arms out to the side, wants to get the kill, but he will need to be careful. Silhouette has the Protector Charm applied. Pebbles under the foreground. There goes Root, but a nice push coming out from Electrician, and then Pebbles will fall right there. Master of Arms falls, but of course, Token of Life bringing him right back up. Keeper of the Forest, Root obviously is on cooldown now, and then Tempest Ultimate is still up. So this is big chance here now for the Hellborn team to make something really big happen. They're going to get the melee racks, it looks like, and the Legion side just sitting back, trying to pound in damage, but it is not intimidating Stay Green. They looks like they are going to clean up the racks, and maybe actually going to kill out of this. Silhouette in the foreground, no, he's going to be swapped, though, with his illusion. The Protective Charm is out, but that can be pushed over. There's a Tempest Ultimate that Stay Green was waiting for. Down goes Silhouette right there. Glacius is going to be pulled in as well, and he'll fall as well. Silhouette cannot buy back, and Stay Green is in a very good spot now with the way that fight just ended.
Yeah, they're pushing this well. Slicks is doing so much damage. The ultimate used by Tempest was in a great spot, and he knew that they had really no counters to it at that time. Pebbles was dead. B-Kid, he jumped in and executed, but he already had his Shrunken Head down, so he was very, very susceptible. And because of that reason, Keeper of the Forest felt the need to jump in and ulti, but it really didn't do anything. In fact, it didn't save. It didn't even save B-Kid because Electrician was doing too much damage to him. Complexity is in a terrible spot right now.
Middle racks completely cleared out, and it's going back to just the damage output. Even going the Showbreaker on Silhouette, it just doesn't seem like they have enough ultimate damage here on the Legion side. So
they're just not able to focus their fire enough.
Yeah.
And even on top of that, they just don't have all the damage. Like maybe if they focus their fire onto someone like Tempest or Ophelia, but by this time now, they've lost too many fights consecutively where there's just that many more items on those heroes. So it's going to be that much harder. So every fight you lose, the next fight's going to be that much more difficult against this team. And now you have a Shrunken Head up on a Tempest. So yeah, it's looking pretty badly. But I do have to say SG is playing this very, very well.
Yeah, they are. That was a very great executed fight. Like I said, I mean, the fact that that Swinnemelons didn't even use that Tempest Ultimate for the longest time, it's pretty ridiculous to see how far ahead they were even going into when he finally used the Ultimate. So scary news indeed for Complexity, and again, this is game number 3 here. So Stay Green again feeling good, I'm sure, but with that ultimately said, by no means is this game secured. Still want to play it out, and definitely play your best, because obviously Complexity especially has proven time and time again that they can persevere through being down and eventually come back. So not to get too complacent here if you're Stay Green, but at the same time, you got Master of Arms now with a Shrunken Head, Barrier Idol on Electrician. I mean, the items definitely are adding up, and of course that all-important Shrunken Head on to Le Tempest. So the Legion team, your Showbreaker, whatever we got right now, it's still actually level 1. He could upgrade it if he wanted to right now, but I kind of wonder if he's going to. I mean, maybe he feels like he needs that portal key and just wants to go that next. I don't know. Do you think you need to be committed to leveling it to level 3 if you're going to get it?
No, you don't have to. But yeah, I really do feel like the only way to get back in this game for Complexity, and it seems crazy saying that because the lead as far as the numbers go isn't crazy, but clearly SG has complete control of this game. It's similar to Game 1 where the numbers weren't outstanding for Complexity, but they had control of the entire game. The opposite is now this game, where the numbers aren't crazy in favor of SG, but they have complete control of this game.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. They're in a very, very good spot. So Going to just continue to play a little bit more passive because, again, when you have control of the game, you can afford to do that. Get ahead. When you're ahead, get further ahead, as a great Otosis would say from StarCraft 2 casting world. So, Master of Arms teleports to the bottom lane, and he's just going to continue to clean up this. Now, he's still sitting on the level 1 Nullfire Blade. I kind of wonder if he is eventually going to upgrade that. There's a couple of benefits to that. One, unlimited charges is the big one, I think, but it also increases the damage and the mana drain even and whatnot. So
it's kind of funny. Electrician spent a bunch of time with that bound eye searching for a ward, even around Congo Pit, but completely missed the one that's actually there.
Oh, again, Franzi's good at just placing those wards, man, that don't get seen, apparently. I mean, obviously that happened earlier in the series, and actually, ooh, Glacius. Oh, offensive master's calling Electrician right there. They're trying to catch Glacius. No, he's going to pour it out, though, at the last second, and he'll be fine. Electrician actually turned around right as he was applied that buff, so he obviously didn't even see that coming, but they are going to go into Congo, but as you mentioned, okay, the Wing Courier's here. I wonder if that's going to spot it. Yeah, that's probably should spot it for them. Okay, yeah, they are going to see it. And he's like, oh, I got to kill this. Obviously, Complexity is aware that it's going on, but now they're blind to whether or not they're actually still in there. I mean, so there's going to be a lot of question marks. Probably going to send into some trees.
And a Tempest has an invis.
Oh,
that's huge.
big,
they don't have any reveal. They don't have any words of revelation or anything. That could be devastating.
Here we go. Energizer already used. Tempest trying to find the right time. They're going to go for it. No, he puts a stun out, actually, but not really much follow-up. Glacius, in the meantime, taking a lot of the damage in the foreground. He's going to be heavily nuked. Will he survive, actually? I believe he might. A big chase onto him. Master's Call used offensively right there. He really wants this kill. Jerzai going to throw the heal bomb out, and Franzi will survive. So it seemed like they could have been even a lot worse for Complexity, of course, and yeah, I think they got out of that very, very nicely, actually.
I think Swindlemelon's jumped way too soon. I feel like he could have milked that a little bit more with the invis. If he checks the items, too, while he's invis, he could have realized that they have absolutely no revelation. And with how tanky his team is, there's no really rush to kind of like jump in. Let Complexity jump in on you like they have the other times and have it fail, and then find the big ultimate.
Yeah, so where's Congo at? Congo is below half-life, so they got a good amount of damage onto him, but clearly not finishing him. But again, Complexity is blind now in the Congo pit, so for all they know, Congo is actually being attempted right now. And they need to be very careful about that. So you see them still in the vicinity, but a lot of Vorticites over here from Stay Green has definitely spotted them, possibly wanting to initiate. So Stay Green definitely has the advantage, and of course just being Hellborn in general in this case, I've heard is very helpful. So we'll see. Again, if a fight starts here shortly, Shrunken Head's going to be coming off cooldown here for Master of Arms, so
yeah, well,
you'll be able to use that again.
Stay Green can stand here all day, all day. They have mid pushing out, and they can just wait for someone to defend that. And if they don't, well, their base is going to take a beating. So they can be as patient as they want. They can stay as long as they want. Complexity, not so much. They're the ones that are going to have to make a move.
Silhouette getting a little bit frisky there. Going to throw in some auto attacks and trying to maybe bait somebody, but eventually falls. Did he level up the Shieldbreaker? Okay, he did. So it is a level 3 Shieldbreaker now, as far as his item build being on Silhouette right there. And it looks like, again, you said it though, I mean, it seems like Stay Green, they are taking the full advantage of that. They literally are just going back and forth. They're not worried about bursting down Congo by any means. They're just taking their time because they can. I mean, look at the middle. The base is starting to be pushed in. The bottom lane also working out pretty well for them in a pretty good spot. Right now, Stay Green in full control in that sense. See Ophelia using a Vulture Alert. What is Ophelia doing, actually? She's under Self-Hit! Holy crap! Z-Freak, a big mistake right there. Electrician running away now. Pebbles did activate the Shrunken Head, but it is a 5 versus 4 all of a sudden. They do not have an Ophelia heal to work with here. That is a pretty big deal. Master's Call going to use offensively right there, trying to take out Pebbles, but he'll be more than fine.
Take it, maybe.
Z-Frig microed big time right there. He thought he was controlling the tornado, but clearly he didn't realize he was controlling himself because he just ran right into them right there.
Yep.
Oops. 25 seconds on Resurrection. He cannot buy back.
This is the window. Complexity has to work with this. They need to make a move right now.
Are we going to see that move right here? Shrunken Head going to be activated on Master of Arms. He felt threatened, but he does not get jumped. And Complexity, again, seems like they're getting even further ahead. Now, Ophelia will be back up in about 6 seconds, so they are going to have the Ophelia heal in the end, it looks like. But, damn, I mean, that was still very risky, very close to being huge for Complexity. I don't think it was that devastating in the end, though, for SG.
No, it could have been worse. I feel like Complexity really needed to make a move right there. Now, they didn't have the Shrunken Head on Pebbles, and maybe that's kind of why they were so scared. But I feel like what better time, what better opportunity are you going to have than when your Ophelia is dead, and as a result, okay, Silhouette goes to the top, has the ultimate used, but the only thing is, that ultimate is so useful once you jump into a team fight. Now it's not going to have the ability to use that and swap to it if she's in danger. She is if she ports to it like right now. She'd have to port to like right now so where she can use it a second time. But she's not doing that. And no, she does port. But you know the illusion's it's dead. So she's not gonna have the ultimate to work with.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty big deal. So, again, the middle tower, or the middle base, I keep looking back at that. Also, the bottom base, even the tower is being pressured already. So, I know Slick's obviously making the comment in chat right there, the yawn, meaning this is boring. But, again, Stay Green, one, it's their decision to be doing this, but you can say it is the correct decision. I mean, you're playing against Complexity, obviously, a very, very good team. You need to play your best. You need to, make the right decisions. And as passive as that may mean, I mean, you got to do it. So
Storm Spirit up on the Jeremiah. Maybe they're going to wait for that item before they actually try to do something. Franzi's been trying to bait himself like freaking crazy. Like he is walking up here trying to get them to use their spells on him. And they're just not biting that.
Yeah.
And they've been, by the way, sitting on this ward the entire time. Look at this ward by Skyzo. It's seeing them this whole time.
True.
So they know exactly what's going on.
Yep. And actually, Offensive Master's Call was just using an Electrician right there, but he was running backwards when it was used. So, again, a little bit of miscommunication coming out there. Whoa, he's getting blocked by his own Elemental. Oops. I don't think that was the plan right there. So, unfortunate execution coming out. But so, again, they're still in that area, but look at the middle of the base. It's the creeps are once again we'll start beating on some more creeps, but they'll eventually make it to the... Now, Keeper of the Forest doing a pretty good job of cutting them off with the trees, I guess. So that is delaying it a little bit here. So that's good play coming out from Chessie. Portal Key just purchased by Hackscreen, by the way.
Okay.
So he does go that. Obviously, he doesn't have a buyback now, but it feels it necessary. Needs that PK here, so...
That could possibly catch them off guard. And that's good. Like I said, if they're going to come back in this game, they need that jump potential and focus fire onto one target. His ultimate's up yet again, and he actually does pop it right now. Now is the time. Now is the window to try to get something done.
Yeah. We'll see as they are going to... start moving out a little bit again. Glacius in the front lines. He really wants to be jumped, but
another ward spotted them. They've been doing a really good job about placing these wards. They always have vision. In the meantime, Z-Freak's using actually the minions that he spawned up top to push at the same time while this is all going on. So good job right there.
And look at the base. The huts are going down. Already the World Tree Towers have taken a little bit of damage. So Complexities, the time is running out. They need to do something here in the next couple of minutes, I think is really a safe limit here before they need to think about committing to defending their base pretty hardcore, because it's going to start falling quickly, and they'll lose the game as a result of that. So, and that's when Stay Green will be able to commit to more of a Conquer kill themselves, of course. So that's exactly what they're doing. They're just playing patient, and look, the towers are now starting to take some damage here at the World Tree. Complexity, again, time is running out here. What are they going to do?
Yeah, and Haxton doesn't have an ulti up yet. He has to wait another 35 seconds, and I really do feel like that ulti is...
Here we go. Pebbles jumps in, trying to go for Electrician right there. Look at the combo up, but again, it's Electrician. The tankiest target in the elbow team. Pebbles going to be turned on. The Soul's Blessing coming out. The Tempest Ultimate, a clutch Tempest Ultimate. First one of them pulling it forward to the 5-year-olds. Going to get the full duration, and look at the Legion team starting to melt away. Keeper of the Forest goes down. Glacius goes down. Keeper of the Forest didn't even get his root off that whole time. We see Jeremiah on the run. Fork Lightning slowing down Silhouette. She's on the run. She's going to be able to portal key away. Will be fine for now, but all 5 are still up for Stay Green in a very good spot. And again, in the meantime, the top lane being pressured. Why are they going for Electrician?
I just want to give a giant what the fuck. Like, what could prompt you to thinking that was a good idea? Like, what? Okay, he's actually going to do some
better idea. They go right there on Ophelia. And the Luna actually, but there's the Luna Hill, or the Ophelia Hill, excuse me, coming out. Storm Spirit going to be Keeper of the Forest, does get the root off in the background. But here comes Master of Arms up. They're going to start applying some damage. We see Silhouette with that Protective Charm, however.
Oh my god.
She is pretty threatening. Yeah, nearly killing Luna right there. There's our portal key, and actually will get the kill when it's all said and done. Keeper of the Forest doing some hero blocking now, and this is actually looking fairly decent for Complexity all of a sudden. After the buyback from Chessie, actually. So, and woo, they can get Kongor here. I don't know. He's actually a good amount of life.
Well,
okay.
Yeah, I feel like they got to try something, and they're going to go for it.
Not bad. I mean, I thought there was more buybacks used for some reason, but no, it was only Chessie. It ended up being almost a blessing in disguise that he didn't use the root in the earlier fight, because he had it to use right there. And that was actually pretty big. So they're not going to be able to get Kongor. It's just not going to happen. Was there a buyback? Yes, Z-Freak did buyback, it looks like, so...
They desperately need a bound die. Like, the vision is killing them. Not so much the vision that they have, it's the vision that is being spotted by SG. Like, they have a ward down here in their jungle. They have a ward right here in the same spot as you exit the jungle. They have a ward down here next to their ancient spotting the rune in the entire outside the entire Kongor pit. And Kongor is going to go down. It's going to go down
After
in favor
all
of
of
SG.
that.
And after all of that, yeah. And not to mention a shield breaker level 1 up on MOA. He's going to have the token of life yet again. And man, it was starting to look like maybe a sign of life again for Complexity. Oh, here we go.
Here we go again. Jeremiah going to start taking some Tundra Blast stunts right there. Jeremiah being locked down by the static grip. He will get stalagmited though, and Electrician will be forced to stop the channel as a result. Creeper the Force going to go for the port out. Will be successful. Jeremiah is still on the run, however, but SG is not going to pursue. Master of Arms, though, of course, he's got that token of life. And as you mentioned, I mean, this shield breaker was also picked up by him. So his damage output, especially if he goes red for him, I mean, obviously it mitigates his damage, but the rapid fire with the shield breaker and the nullfire blade, it's he can still dish out a good amount even in that form. So SG, no doubt, in the stronger control of this game, as the middle lane especially continues to be a problem here for Complexity. They're constantly having to worry about that. So
Yeah.
more issues indeed.
Oh, yeah, I was going to mention something, and it totally slipped my mind. I'll have to get back to it. I totally forgot.
We will come
Oh,
back.
yeah. I was going to say, if I swear to God, if I see another all-out initiation onto Electrician, I don't know what I'm going to say. I don't. I'm
You're going to leave the game?
I'm going to leave the game, take my headphones off, and walk out that door. No, in seriousness, like, why would you do that? It seems like the silliest thing to do, because you have 2 heals, you have 3 heals backing him up. The Master's Call. That's what they want you to do. That's what
the
they
reason
want
why
you
he's
to do.
up there and giving you a good chance. So, speaking of that, Electrician up the hill. He's, you know, taking the tower even. You see the goo put down by Master of Arms. Master of Arms is level 16 now, so they cool down a little bit less. Actually, there you jump again onto Electrician right here. Will they actually burst him? Ophelia here. There's an Astral APL. He's staying alive. The barrier auto coming out. He's going to purge himself away. And now here's a return damage. Oh, he is going to root, actually. It does cancel. No, it does not. Tempest Ultimate is still ready. There's a Tempest Ultimate in the background. He's taking a lot of damage in the meantime. But Master of Arms doing a lot of damage in return. Trying to finish off Jeremiah. Nice Nature's Veil heal, though. The Soul's Blessing finally going to be used. And so far, Tempest is the only one dead currently in favor of Complexity. Keeper the Force, Porter King in. Ophelia is getting caught out right here. And actually, Ophelia is in a lot of trouble. She will eventually fall. We do see a block attempt on the Master of Arms. He has a token of life, remember. Oh, vote to pause coming out. I wonder if somebody DC. That's unfortunate. It's Kazu. Oh, Kazu's running back to base. It's okay. Apparently was just a misclick or something, but Slick's okay. He's on the run right here. Keeper the Force is going to portal key in, go for some more auto attacks. He has an Energizer not coming up shortly, so yeah, he's going to die right here. Very likely going to die a second time. Yeah, there's no way he's getting out of this. And Complexity, they'll hold it off, and not only that, hold it off big time there at the bottom lane.
Yeah, they will. I wonder if I'm wondering what that pause is all about, but that was looking pretty like scary though for Complexity. Like again, going on to Electrician, and I feel like if you want to do that, and it ended up succeeding right there, but I feel like there were some mishaps from SG. And I will say though, like, can I say though that this build? Sorry about that. They thought DC, KZ DC. Okay. Anyway, can I say though that this shield breaker on a silhouette is doing so much damage? Like it is ripping them apart. And Jeremiah, he's starting to be at his most effective time right now. The Tempest Ultimate was a good Tempest Ultimate, but it just wasn't enough. And Master of Arms, I wasn't really paying attention to him, but I don't know where he was focusing his fire, but it clearly wasn't working out.
It seemed like he was doing a little bit of damage to Jeremiah throughout that fight. Again, it's obviously hard to tell though exactly with all that chaos going on, but you know, this is kind of a hindsight moment too. You know, speaking of Master of Arms, how different this game could have been if they did go for more of your conventional carry. I mean, if they went for something like say a Dark Lady, say a Mage Main even, you know, your Forsaken Archer, which Slicks loves to play.
Right.
Maybe how different this would be. I mean, sure, again, it is hindsight, and obviously Master of Arms brings his own set of tools that could have made the difference earlier on, but it's just something to think about, I guess. So,
yeah, I still think he's pretty damn good as a carry, and he is actually maxing out on some good items. Like, I love his item build. I think it's a very smart choice. They're going to group up here yet again in the bottom lane. Tempest Ultimate's still off cooldown, though. I wonder if Complexity realizes that.
Yeah, that's down for another 50 seconds. So it's almost as if State Green is trying to keep that intimidation factor up, even though it is on cooldown. I will say Swinamount has got some great ultimates off these last couple of fights, and that has definitely been helpful for State Green, of course. So they are all 5 down here, as you would expect. And again, the middle lane again being pushed in as a result of both of the racks being taken out earlier, and obviously Complexity will have to keep that in mind as they are sitting here at their base. The defensive towers at the World Tree are also dropping fairly low, so they've taken a bit of damage again, as obviously, again, expected. What else? Master of Arms level 2 shield breaker now, it looks like. So he himself is level. Look at the Ogre, or the Ice Ogre, spreading around that ice armor, actually. providing some 8 armor for the team as well as the effects that it does. And you see in the middle lane again, the push happening. Pebbles and Silhouette over there, but here comes the helper team. Actually, Pebbles will jump into Master of Fonz. Master of Fonz dropping quickly. He's going to get the Master's Call, though. Offensive Master's Call, pushing him away. And now he's turning on to Pebbles with a red form, actually. Minimal damage coming out as a result of that. And but everyone's going to be fine when it's all said and done. So Master of Arms, he definitely dropped fairly quickly, as you would expect. But the heals definitely came. And he was fine, but a couple of cooldowns used right there. Tempest Ultimate is now back up, by the way.
Yeah, that's up. The shortcut head was used by Pebbles. That's pretty huge. He bought back, by the way, in the last fight. I noticed that. I just didn't mention anything about that. And that was crucial. That was very, very needed, much necessary. And it looks like SC is going to fall back for now and keep it the force. Yeah, he knows his place right now in this game. He has no farm at all. Like, his farm is pretty bad, but he should know that his one job is to cancel that Tempest Ultimate. He was standing pretty far back.
Damn, that protective charm on Pebbles is huge. Holy crap. Okay, so he's going to portal key again, and oh, he catches the Ice Ogre. Poor Ice Ogre. You did your job, but unfortunately, you're dead now. Good job right there, coming out from Pebbles, taking the Ice Ogre out. And man, I don't know this game, man. It's just there was that time there at the Congo pit for the good. It seemed like even something like 10 minutes where there was just a standoff and. Stay Green seems like they should have had the advantage as a result, which they did. I mean, the middle lane kept getting pushed in, but Complexity actually played it very well. And obviously the fight that eventually happened, Complexity was able to come back in and holding off the bottom lane push. And now Complexity has some advantages back in their favor. And actually Silhouette is now pushing the bottom lane. You do see the towers dropping very quickly, and there's now 1 outer tower remaining in favor of Stay Green. So that one being in the middle, of course.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, Complexity, they just seem to, like, they're regaining some strength now.
Yeah.
In team fights, and they do have very, very good team fight heroes, like Jerizai. He's got a lot more farm now. He's got the Storm Spirit. Oh, we see some marching into the bottom lane. They're going to use some illusions from Tempest to maybe down this tower just a little bit, put some extra damage on top of it. Might actually dip it into deny range.
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, yeah, it's not going to go down, but doing a little bit more damage into it, because I guess why the hell not, right? So. Level 3 Shield Breaker is picked up by Master of Arms, so he's going to be delivering that now. And that's actually something I noticed the last fight. I kind of wonder what Slicks has been doing with that. He was using the red form a good amount of that last fight. And again, I don't know what your experience is like with Master of Arms, specifically in the character, but do you think it's worth switching back and forth? Do you like to stay in the blue or red? Or
I think you should definitely use the red form for the Nullifier as long as you can to burn out the mana, but obviously you only want to do it on targets where it's actually going to be effective. Like Jerizai, he's got too large of a mana pool right now. Like, that's not very effective on him. Silhouette uses a lot of mana as well. You just have to feel for it. Like, you just keep going back and forth, see what does more damage. Honestly.
Yeah. Haxrin, not only the top farmer in the game right now, 417 gold per minute, but by far the top level in the game. He's level 20. The next closest is level 17, actually, being that Master of Arms. So yeah, Haxrin again, truly fitting that carry role as he does so well here for Complexity. And he just purchased, looks like a Warhammer. So
yeah, and then sold it. I think he was afraid that he didn't have buyout, but you can actually see exactly if you have buyout by looking at how much gold you'll lose on death and how much your buyout will be.
Math, yeah. Yeah, he's.
I feel like he would have well, let me see. 16. Yeah, he would have enough actually. I feel
like he actually should, but oh well. It's obviously he just wants to play the safe route. Doesn't find necessary to get that second Warhammer just yet, for a little bit more extra damage. But this tower, it is going to fall. I mean, again, it's falling down to 91 life. Very, very close to getting to that point. We'll see maybe with this next creep wave if Stay Green is able to actually break through here against Complexity. But again, Franzi's not afraid to be up there. He just charges in. He really wants them to jump on him. He actually freezes one of the Minotaurs and gets a kill as a result, so accomplishing quite a bit. And they're using a lot to make sure these creep waves do not actually push into the base. But again, keep in mind the middle lane. It is being pushed in by the creep wave because of the racks being down, so always got to think about that if you're Complexity. And it is going to start breaking into the base here. And we'll see what Complexity does. Okay, Franzi's actually going over there. He's going to Glacial Downpour even to get it out. Wow, that cleared out very quickly. In fact, Pebbles again, they jump on Electrician right here. So here we go. Shuriken Heads are going to be activated. Electrician now starting to fall back. Barrier Out's going to be used as I feel the hit. And Pebbles being turned on big time. Pebbles will fall when it's all said and done. He can bite back. Will he? Is the big question. Silhouette Protective Charm is going to be able to fall back and be 65 seconds of resurrection for that Pebbles. All 5 are still up here in favor of State Green. So now they're going to start applying some pressure to the racks here. They're trying to bait out, if anything, that buyback silhouette be a lockdown. The Purge even comes out, but she'll be able to get away and be just fine. Jerezai still looks like, okay, there's a buyback port coming in from Pebbles in the background, and actually they see it. You see the Energizer going to be used. Everyone turns around, and State Green is completely in retreat mode now. So they get the buyback. The Rax is down to half-life here.
I just don't get it. Like, I don't see a logical reason to go on Electrician. And I know some people were saying in chat, well, they're going. One person was like, well, they're going on Electrician so that frees up Haxorn to go on the others so that he doesn't have to worry about getting his stuff purged off. I'm like, okay, well, maybe that's a feasible thing. Well, right there, where did Silhouette go? He went on Electrician as well. And it's clearly not working out. It worked out that one time, but that, honestly, to me was
a big fight. Brune right there. The Tempest ultimate only insert. Oh, but Kira the Force blanks into it. That is absolutely huge. They burst down Pebbles. Kira the Force will fall. Jerezai will fall, and the game could be over just like that. GGs are being called by Franzi. Is that going to actually be official? I don't know, but holy crap. That was big right there. That was definitely a case of just like the snap of your finger, the game can be over. And I think it is. I mean, I know there's no Concevo just yet, but they can even buy back. No one can buy back. It is just Silhouette. That was huge. Sitting on the uphill. The Tempest ultimate initially wasn't the greatest, but Keeper of the Force being that. Now actually Silhouette snipes a Luna down right there, but really, if anything, she's trying to distract, as State Green won't have any of that. They're going to go for the racks. The range rack's going to fall. The tower's going to start falling. In fact, they're going to both go down here, and the World Tree is going to start being destroyed. They might have a vulnerability, but it's just not going to be enough time. Now, Keeper of the Force does have a root, actually, so he's going to come back up right here and probably just Portal Key root in. But, again, it is falling quickly. Do they even have invulnerability? You figure they're used by now. There goes the root coming out, but the World Tree falls, and Stay Green takes game number 3. And as a result, Stay Green defeats Complexity 2-1 here in this best of 3. What a series we had there, Travis.
It was a lot of
epic, man.
It was a lot of fun. Those were great games. Like, even though, okay, the hero kills weren't exactly the highest in the world, but again, I still don't think that reflects accurately just how much fun these games were to watch. Not even just this series, but the series we casted before, and even this entire weekend. Like, it's been a lot of fun to watch. Well played by both teams. The lineup was different from SG. It worked out. They had a lot of protective abilities and a very tanky hero in Keizu, being on Electrician and the red glow, the defensive master's call from MOA on top of Ophelia ultimate as well. But that last fight right there, you gotta hit yourself. Jesse, he just blinked right into the ultimate and wasn't able to stop that.
Just the side of it, because obviously if he was able to stop that, Jerezai would have freed up. He could have Soul's Blessing, could have Protect Return Pebbles, and maybe they could start a little bit of turnaround themselves. But man, moments like that, it happens. I mean, these are the best players in the world right here. You know, playing in this game, Complexity versus State Green. Even the best of them, you know, you're not going to play perfection by all means. Every single game. It definitely happens. The mistakes are there. And Stay Green, they deserve the victory, man. Both teams would have deserved it in the end, of course, but Stay Green persevered, and they take the series 2-1. So, as you put it, Complexity won the first game, but Stay Green won game 2 and 3.
I think that was the exact same that happened in the last semis. Yeah. I want to say that's what happened. I'm not 100% sure.
All right, so where does that set things up? Well, now we got Stay Green, who will be taking on TT Esports. In fact, let me pull up the brackets myself real quickly here. All right, reload real quickly. All right, so I got the brackets up myself. So we got TT Esports taking on Stay Green. They're going to be in the winner's bracket final matchup, of course. That is set to take place next Saturday, obviously. And then from the bottom portion, so you were wrong, Trav.
It's very rare, but it does happen from time to time.
It's every now and then. Lion Esports versus TDM will actually be our losers bracket matchup, and then Q Squad versus Complexity will be the other losers bracket matchup. But how about that? TDM and Complexity, both in the losers bracket, the number 1 and 2 teams through the first 2 cycles. I can't say I saw that coming, but welcome to HoN Tour, baby. Yeah. Welcome to the Diamond Division, or it's anyone's.
I think the coolest thing is that TT Esports took out not even just took them out, but took them out in 2-0.
Yeah.
Took out TDM. Like, I am very curious. I'm pretty sure Beef Pop Pie was also casting those.
I think he was, yes.
I'm going to go home and watch those VODs as well.
Yeah, I want to check those out for sure. So, speaking of VODs, of course, expect all these VODs. In fact, like I said, I cut up the yesterday's actually are cut up on the Twitch page. They just need to be actually put on the HoNcast site. But all these hopefully should be uploaded by later tonight, if not tomorrow. And then you can catch up on any of the action here that happened on HoNcast. So, ladies and gentlemen, things are going to be wrapping up for tonight. We had another great day here, another long day with that said, but hey, another great day. Some great Heroes and Earth action coming at you, and can't wait to Well, continue it on. As I said, Tuesday is our certain plan. We plan to come back and cover what's going to be a gold division matchup during the week. But next week, and obviously the Diamond Division, it will be resuming with well, it will be one of these loser bracket matchups, and then eventually the winner bracket finals after that. So
Right.
Excited for that. So as beautiful as this bracket is, I think we've started it enough. All right, back to us. There we go. Okay, so with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I think it is time to officially wrap things up. So, Tralfa, well, any final words from yourself?
Well played by both teams. I thought that SG played fantastically. I thought Complexity played pretty well too.
Yeah.
I just still think that in that third game, the constant going on to electrician. Like I would love to be in their vent or Skype or whatever their raid call or whatever they're using, and just hear the reasoning behind that. Because I'm sure SG was thinking the same thing. Like, why do they keep going on to you? Like, what are they doing? This is like a free win.
Yeah.
So, but well played by SG, and yet again they will move on to the the winners bracket finals.
Yep.
Against Trademark Esports. That's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah. You know what? That actually now I'm just realizing.
Did I say I'm sorry, not Trademark Esports. I'm sorry, TD Esports.
TD Esports.
They
yes,
look the same because there's both.
TT Esports will actually be in the winners bracket, and they defeated TDM actually
Yes.
in their matchup. But you go to the brackets, HoNtour.com, you can check it out for yourself, as well as HoNcast.com, of course, for all your information and whatnot. But I was just realizing this also means we're going to have a different grand final matchup, no matter what, in cycle number 3. It's not going to be TDM versus Complexity because it can't be. They're both in the losers bracket, so it'll be either Stay Green or TT Esports versus somebody else in the grand final. So that's kind of cool to see as well. It's as powerful as CDM and Complexity are. It is nice to see some diversity and to see some change with that said. So, all right, though, we're wrapping things up here. So definitely check out those websites for all the information. Follow us on Facebook. You can follow this guy on Twitter at @TrelfHon
and at BreakyCPK.
The @HoNcast, the HoNcast Facebook, and all that jazz. Ladies and gentlemen, another great day, another great weekend in the books. What a great way to kick off 2013. Everything is just great here at HoNcast. So, thanks for tuning in yet again. We will see you on Tuesday for the Gold Division matchup. Go Chargers. Shout out to Killer Orange. Love you all. Is that showing up well? Yes, it is. Go Chargers. You're not in the playoffs, but you're in my heart. All right, that's it for ladies for tonight.
Hold on.
The Seahawks, did they win?
Hold on.
The Seahawks win. Hold on. Breaking news.
I'm Googling
You're going to Google Seahawks because that's what normal people do.
Seahawks won!
Seahawks won!
Yes.
24-14.
Yes.
Woo! All right.
Yes.
Anyways, thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you on Tuesday. Gold Division matchup. Have a good night, guys. What the